Okay, guys, I want us to talk about what we call impulse momentum theory. Impulse momentum theory. Impulse momentum theory is nothing, it's just simple stuff. We know that impulse is equal to momentum. We've already spoken about that, right? And the SI unit of impulse is what? It can be kg meters per second or what? Newton per second, right? Okay, so when we talk about impulse momentum theory, it simply means impulse is equal to F net multiplied by change in time, right? What does that mean? It means F net multiplied by change in time is equals to what? It's equals to Vf minus Vi. This formula is very important. It's the formula for the impulse momentum theory. So, it simply means that impulse is equals to change in momentum. It simply means that impulse is equals to change in momentum. So now, when can we use this formula? Look, there are situations, right, whereby we can be able to know the change in momentum. Let's say we know the what? We know the change in momentum of an object. Or we are being requested to calculate the final velocity when we are given the impulse. We can be able to calculate the final velocity when we are given the impulse, right? Yeah. Let's say we have got an object. This object, we have got an impulse of what? The impulse of this object is 2 Newton per second. Can you see that? That's the impulse, right? And we were told that maybe the object was at rest. The object is 5 kg. The object is 5 kg. We were told that this object was at rest, then a particular force was applied on it, which caused the object to move, right? Yeah. Then find the final velocity of that object. It means we can use this formula if we want to know the final velocity of this object, right? It means we know the impulse, because this is equal to impulse. We're going to have what? We're going to have 2 is equals to 5 Vf minus 0. Then we're going to have 5 Vf. We divide by 5. We divide by 5. Meaning the final velocity is 2 over 5. You understand? Yes. That's when we use this formula. This formula of the impulse momentum theory. You understand, right? Yes. For now, that's what we have. For now, that's what we have. Take note, we're almost done with momentum. We're almost done. And for some of you, you're just starting. For some of you, you think I'm still going to teach you more. Now I want to teach you about systems. After teaching you about this, when we are done, we're going to treat questions. You understand? Yes. When we're done, we're going to treat questions. I teach very fast, but you are understanding. If you don't understand, if I'm too fast, you tell me. Ne? Yes, but for now, I think we're closing nicely. If ever you don't understand, you tell me. Just keep all this information. I'm going to give you a classwork to write this. But after teaching you about what I want to teach you today, then I'll bring more previous question paper questions. Then we treat them. Right? Okay. So now, who can I choose? You know, I still don't know most of your names. Where Sharanzi one? Sharanzi. Where are you? Niki. Huh? Niki. Where? Donia. Donia. Len. Where am I? Lloyd, huh? Samu. Lungi. Huh? Lord. Oh, Ebenezer, Lungi. Already the what the family say why one way because Tambusa question. Okay. Okay. Away game. Oh, was. Okay, sure. Go Gary. Confess. Huh? And get out. Okay. Okay, sure. Okay. Sis. I'm the woman. Tagan, how do you define momentum in terms of Newton's second law? Think about what you're saying. Just relax. Yes, that's correct, right? We need to know that, eh? Yeah, you don't need to rush. You can even write the formula and you tell me the answer, eh? If we can move in this direction, I'm telling you, 100% is guaranteed. Okay, now I want us to talk about the conservation of linear momentum. I can give you questions anytime, provided that I've already told you these things. Ebenezer, can you be able to explain impulse in real life? When you have fastened a seat belt in the car, in terms of impulse, how does it assist you when an accident occurs?
It's make the child
life is this. What do you like? Guys, I see the problem. You know the problem is what? You are trying to cram. The problem is that you are trying to do what? Don't cram. Don't do what? The problem is you are trying. Don't cram this way. Understand these things in your own way. Then you are able to say those things simply so. Understand these things in your own way. Understand your things in your own way. Then you are going to be able to state these things. But if you cram English, what are English way cram English? It's not what it is. You know what it's more than. You know what it's more than. I'm not shishi. I'm not shishi. I mean, as just understand these things in your own way. You will be able to state them, right? Yes. In physics, we don't mark English. We mark what you say. We don't mark English. We don't mark grammar. Yes, grammar error. Don't do that. We mark physics. You understand? Let me repeat. You guys are doing here. Explain maybe how does an airbag reduces injury. Explain in terms of impulse. You don't say impulse, you do what impulse? You don't even talk about impulse because there's no impulse in a car. Right? We just call it impulse. We just call it impulse as physicists, right? Here's the first thing. This is what is going to happen. When an airbag comes out during a collision, right? The airbag is going to increase the time at which the force is going to act. So now the airbag is bomb. Look, airbag, so now the first day you get this nigga. Guys, we just learn as if there is no video, because we will do this and it's going to be seen by serious people. So you just act as if there's nothing. What is it? Hey. Okay, I was saying that. Look, airbag you're going to hold a bike drive immediately move on bike drive it causes the force to belong. I know what I'm getting at airbag. You call me from my bike drive. The airbag is going to increase the time at which the force is going to act, and the force is going to be minimal because. Yeah, it's going to be less, it's correct. Because of what? Because force is inversely proportional to time. When time increases, force decreases. When force increases, time decreases. When a force acts at a short amount of time, what will happen? When the force acts at a short amount of time, the force is going to be high. You're going to feel the pain. You saw, man? Yes. But the airbag is going to do what? To increase the time at which the force is going to act, which will cause the force to be less, because the force is inversely proportional to time. Airbag is force and the force is inversely proportional to time. When force is high, time is less. You understand? Yes. But why in terms of impulse, when you bend, you do what? You increase the time at which the force is going to act. When you increase the time at which the force is going to act, what will happen to the force? The force is going to be less because the force is inversely proportional to the time. You must be able to explain that. Then you get all the marks. Did you get it? This is, guys, equal to namida. Equal to 5, 10, and failing. Because we are a team, we move together. When the final is, I found a phone that from one was so from one night, hey, from one night, make a crème shlung. Such a in the only shlung, I manage shlung physics and a such a shlung shamwing. Don't mark English. Okay, now you got it. Now we got it there. Okay. Today I want us to talk about conservation of momentum. Conservation of what?
Momentum.
Conservation of momentum. Yeah, it's very important. Listen, there's no exam paper which will not ask conservation of momentum. This one is the darling of examiners. You hear me? This one is the darling of examiners. They love it, the examiners. You hear me, ne? Yes. Conservation of momentum. Some they call it conservation of linear momentum. Conservation of what? Linear momentum. That's what we're going to learn about. The first thing, let us talk about the system. What is the system? There's no question paper which can ask you what the system is. I've never seen it, but they can ask you. But you must know what the system is. Because the definition of conservation of linear momentum talks about a system. It talks about a system. When we talk about a system, it is what we are interested in when we are conducting an experiment. A system is what we observe when we are conducting an experiment. What we observe when we are conducting a what? An experiment. Maybe next week, this week I won't find time. We must have orientation. Orientation is me taking all the science learners to the labs, showing them how we take care of our labs, showing them the different things in the labs, right? I will take you there next week. All, starting from grade 10, 11, 12, all of you, I will take you there. I teach you how we must take care of that lab, right? Yeah. And yourselves, as the senior students, you must make use of the lab, right? You shall see, when we start to do organic chemistry, sometimes I'll go and teach you there, and in organic chemistry we'll talk about alcohols. We're going to ban some of the things we see if they're highly flammable and stuff. Okay, so when we talk about system, it's what we focus in when we're doing an experiment, right? Okay, anything that is outside the system, it is called what? It is called an environment. Anything outside the system is called an environment. They say a small part in the universe which we consider when conducting experiments. Right? Yeah. A system is the small part which we consider when conducting experiments. That is the system. Let me give you an example of a system. You see, that's a what? That's a dustbin. This is a dustbin, right? Let's say I want something here. Here in the dustbin, right? I'll be working with the what? With the dustbin, right? Anything which is outside the dustbin, it is the environment, right? When I'm making an experiment with the dustbin, my system is the what? It is me and the dustbin alone. That is the system. When you are mixing chemicals inside the test tubes. You have test tubes. You have beaker. What is the system in that situation? It's your beaker, right? Yes. Isn't it? It will be you and the beaker and the content of the beaker, right? That is the what? The system. You understand the system? Yes. That is the system. And everything outside the system is the what? Is the environment. Because we're not interested in the environment, we're interested in the experiment. What we're focusing in, right? I'm focusing in mixing. That's the system. You understand what the system is? Okay, let us talk about a closed system. A closed system. What is a closed system? A closed system is a what? It's a system where the net force from external forces is zero. A closed system. It's a what? A system where the net force from external forces is zero. Right? A closed system, it's a what? It's a system where the net force of the external forces is zero. Let me give you an example. What are external forces? These are forces which are coming from the outside, which are not part of the system. External forces, which are what? Forces that are coming from the outside, which are not part of the system. Let me give you an example. If we have two cars, right? And this car collides, right? These two cars are going to exert forces to each other, right? Yes. They are going to exert forces to each other, right? Yes. Huh? Yes. Those forces which those cars exert on each other, they are internal forces, because those forces, they are arising inside the system. Those forces, they are arising inside the system. Any force which can come outside of the system is an external force. You understand? Any force which will come from outside the system is an external force. Let me give you an example. I'm running, you see? And it is windy. As I'm running, you know what will happen when it is windy? Isn't it I'll be applying forces as I'm running, right? Applying forces. Then the forces that are applied by me, they are internal forces, right? They are internal forces because they have been applied by me, right? Yes. Then air resistance comes. As I'm running, I start to face air resistance, right? That force is coming from the outside. It is not being applied by me, right? It means the air resistance is an external force. Did you understand what is an external force? An internal force, these are forces which the objects which are in the system exerts on each other. The friction will be there. Friction is an external force. Friction is an external, and they are not taking notes. They are waiting for me to write things here. And I'm not going to write anything. I've just explained. That's why I don't understand. You want to cram. And if you cram, you're going to fail. You must write the things which I say in your own understanding. Did you understand what external force and internal force are? Huh? Just explain. Oh, you're waiting for me to write so that you can grab. You're waiting for it. Don't do that. A closed system, I've said that a closed system is a system where the net force of external forces is zero. It means if the system is closed, it does not allow external forces. It does not consider the external forces. Let me give you an example. A pot. Do you say a pot? A pot, and you are boiling something there. You are cooking something, right? And even once they say they are boiling pap. I don't know what called the trend. What time of those are boiling? Okay, let me give you an example. And you are boiling pap, You are cooking pap, right? And you close the lid of a pan, When you close the lid of a pan, you have just created a closed system. You know why? Because loko kayele loko wa wu vila wu ya bapana loko wu ya ndzeni hi sweswo sweswo swona a wu nge humeli handle swona. It's a closed system. A closed system does not allow things from the environment to get in. If we create a closed system, we don't allow things from the outside to get in. Do you understand what a closed system is? The world full of pan, kai lo ta huma son, na moya lo titimela uta ngena la panini kwa horisa swakudya son. It means that's an open system. You understand what an open system is? Yeah. An open system is a system which allows an exchange of energy with the environment. An open system allows the exchange of energy with the environment. But the closed system does not allow any exchange with the environment. You understand? It does not allow anything from the outside to become part of it. That's a closed system. Understand what a closed system is? That's a closed system. Then I was explaining internal forces and external forces. I'm saying that internal forces, these are forces which object exerts on each other, which arises from them. I was giving you an example that when I'm running, I'm applying a particular force. You find that I start to experience friction. Is the friction being created by me? It is coming naturally from the surface which I'm running at, right? So it means friction is an external force because it is not coming out from me. I'm just running, applying forces as I'm running, right? As I'm running, I'm applying forces. It means the force which are being applied by me, those forces, they are internal forces. And the friction can come out. Air friction can come out. It's an external force because it's not being created by me. You understand what we mean by a closed system and an open system? Internal force and external force. You understand what it means? Yeah. Internal force is a force which is inside, which arises from those two objects in the system. You understand? Okay, let's take in Mati, not juice, my one. Mati not juice, let's take a this weather. This is Dunganyang. Even this is Teleganyana, I saga Kasho Isa. Ka Benson pen ala. Miss Faga saga Benson pen. New Zealand gase. Diluya ungata create it. Is it an external or internal energy? External because it is coming from the outside. Martina juice you know to show in the bill. You understand what we mean by internal and external? Oh, that's what we mean. Thank you. So now, let us talk about conservation of linear momentum. Definition. Conservation of linear momentum. I sent you the exam guideline. Did you see on WhatsApp? Make use of it, ne? Yes, you cannot see it if you don't log into WhatsApp or if you are staying on TikTok and watching news, boys. You cannot see Okay. Conservation of linear momentum, right? Conservation of linear momentum. It states total linear momentum in an isolated system in an isolated or closed. In an isolated system remain conserved or constant. Total linear momentum in an isolated system remain conserved or constant. Total linear momentum in an isolated system remains loko ni sungula ku teka ti-video ta perfect matanda endleni loko ni teka ti-professional video hi phone leyi swa koteka ku sound ya n'we yi nga twala mo vulavula ku twakala ya mi ntsena yi nga teki sound ya hala yi teka ya hala ma swi tiva xilungu vanhu va mina twala total linear momentum in an isolated system means a closed system. Isolated system. So in closed system. Come and closed system then in Naja. Yeah? Yeah? It does not? It does not allow external forces, right? Yes. It does not exchange energy with the environment. Kufana loko fali dipana, dira number wana wo, that's fali. Kunge umichu so mara loko fully of created an open system exchange material with the environment. Okay. Ko hava exam yo kumala liwa, so momentum you show she will this momentum so go on this still you show she will this momentum and she will you show she will this momentum but she say what you show she will this momentum is what conservation of linear momentum total linear momentum in an isolated system remain conserved you show she will this what does she mean there okay. Conservation of linear momentum, total linear momentum in an isolated system remains conserved. Instead of all to conserve, we constant. Constant or conserve is she mwele she's on. Ungatal or mara lokuru ungasukota kustiwa ekwaso stiwa ekwaso. Mara as boy uthoba samplela overall. This one. Okay. Total linear momentum in an isolated system remain conserved. The short shipping is the last part of momentum. More header, one man. You can let that way on that vertical projectile. Okay, we're up. Total linear momentum in an isolated system remain conserved. So I mean. And the answer we do have no example in any point in what I will not to try on. Say, imagine what to write me. Was it what to write me? I'm in conservation of linear momentum. Won't I take away many state there? I was still it anyway. As of blessing, that's better way. But an idea of really total linear momentum in an isolated system remain conserved or constant. Idea. And I'm going to see you. I'm not going to write the class in the most high and I got this book. He said, I even. I'm hard. With a small way, apply as soon as you're okay. That was stating conservation of linear momentum in words, right? Yeah. Conservation of linear momentum. Guys, when we talk about to conserve, we are talking about it remains the same. It remains the same. It's like homeostasis. You know homeostasis? You know homeostasis, right? Keeping constant internal environment, right? That is homeostasis, right? Even if it is cold, even if when it is hot or warm, your body temperature should remain optimal, to remain the same, right? when we're talking about conservation, we're talking about making sure that things remain the same. So, total linear momentum, the conservation of total linear momentum, you know what it states? It states total linear momentum in an isolated system remains conserved. It means that P before is equals to P. Huh? Really? You can say final initial. Final momentum is equal to initial momentum. Right? Final momentum is equal to initial momentum. We can even write P after is equal to P before. This one can also call it that. We can even say the sum of the what? Momentum before is equal to the sum of momentum after. Momentum before is equal to momentum after. You get it? You understand? Initial momentum is equal to final momentum. Initial momentum is equal to final momentum. Okay. So this is simply just a representation. It's sort of a formula, right? Let me write this formula in using subscripts. This is how they write it. Because in this case, we are going to talk about two objects. In the conservation of momentum, we are going to talk about what? Two objects. We are going to talk about what? Two objects. It means that M, is it its initial momentum? MVI number 1 of object 1, right? Plus M2 VI2 of object number 2, right? Is equals to M1 VF plus M2 VF. Do you understand? Initial momentum is equals to final momentum. Initial momentum is equals to final momentum. This is the formula for what now? For the conservation of linear momentum. Initial momentum is equals to final momentum. Okay, I see someone is confused. Okay. After this, I'm just going to talk about collision theory. Look at this. You see, we have two cars. We have two cars, right? Since we have two cars, what's happening? We're talking about the momentum of this one and the momentum of, the momentum of this one and the momentum of, you understand? So this one is the momentum of this one, the initial one, and this one is the momentum of this one, the final one. Right? What about this one? It remains the final momentum of this one and the final momentum of this one. Because these two cars, there is something that is going to happen to them. You understand? Yes. Either they hit each other, or nothing happened to them, or we talk about a bullet and a wooden block, right? I fire a bullet and the bullet stuck in the wooden block. There's going to be different situation of conservation of momentum, right? So the reason you see us having M1 and M2 is because we'll be dealing with what? Two objects. We'll be dealing with what? Two objects. Okay. We'll be dealing with two objects. Thank you. We'll be dealing with two